Again, you're watching the Department of Justice and the IRS holding a news conference here in Austin about tax fraud and ways to monitor and fight that as tax season officially begins this week. So again, let's listen into that news conference that's getting underway here right now.
Hello, my name is Ramsey Covington, Special Agent in charge of IRS Criminal Investigation, Houston Field Office. I'm joined today by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Texas, as well as the SAC of the Dallas Field Office. Tax crimes are not just financial offenses. They are breaches of the public trust and serious federal crimes. Thank you for joining us today as we begin another tax season. It's a time when the vast majority of Americans honestly file and pay their taxes timely. However, there are those who choose a different path, engaging in tax crimes that undermine the foundation of our society. In 2023, the efforts of the Houston Field Office led to 96 defendants being sentenced, collectively serving nearly 400 years in prison in order to pay over $22 million in restitution. These cases were prosecuted by the U.S. Attorney's offices in Texas, underscoring our collaborative approach to pursuing justice. Behind the numbers and the statistics, remember that tax crimes affect individuals, families, and businesses striving to make an honest living. As we enter this tax season, while most Americans file their taxes accurately and honestly, there are individuals who choose deception and greed. They involve themselves in tax fraud, identity theft, various schemes, including those related to COVID and employee retention credits. Let me be clear. If you're contemplating engaging in criminal activity, know this. We are steadfast in our pursuit of those who seek to defraud the tax system. Investigating federal tax and related crimes is the core of what we do. It's our #1 priority at IRS Criminal Investigations. We hold a unique authority to pursue these cases, and we are committed to ensuring that individuals who evade taxes on their income, legal or illegal, face the consequences. Tax evasion opened the doors to investigations to public corruption, cybercrimes, narcotics, and other criminal activities. Yes, when ill-gotten gains aren't reported on the tax return, it's a serious federal offense. The Houston Field Office spans 9 offices across Texas, including Houston, San Antonio, Austin, Corpus Christi, McAllen, Brownsville, Waco, Laredo, and El Paso. Our team of dedicated special agents and professionals work tirelessly to safeguard the integrity of our tax system. It's important to recognize that tax crimes have real victims. Abusive return preparers who steal money from their clients, they're affecting families and businesses every day. They also prey on the public as whole. Someone pays the burden for taxes that go unreported. In fiscal year 2023, IRS Criminal Investigation initiated 1,409 investigations, identifying a staggering $5.5 billion in tax fraud. These numbers reflect the dedication and tireless efforts of our team, ensuring that tax crimes do not go unpunished. Some cases from 2023 and already in 2024 highlight the consequences of tax fraud. Cheryl Kissetaner of Houston, sentenced to 12 years after trial for her involvement in willfully preparing false tax returns. William Hu of Canada, sentenced to 30 months in order to pay restitution of $1.8 million for making false statements on his tax return regarding gambling activities. For every tax crime, there is a victim. a taxpayer, a business, and an entire community who bears the burden. Hector Barreto, former top small business administrator, sentenced to 20 months in order to pay restitution of over $900,000 for defrauding a not-for-profit organization. Keith Seguin of San Antonio, sentenced to over 15 years in order to pay restitution of more than $38 million for wire fraud and tax fraud related to Air Force contracts and projects. Ryan Shern of Cal, sentenced to 5+ years in order to pay restitution of over $700,000 for his role in wire fraud conspiracy and aggravated identity theft. Akua Duffy of Richmond, sentenced to 28 months for filing false tax returns related to a romance scam. M.D. Azad of Houston, sentenced to more than 15 years for participation in a tech support scheme that deceived elderly victims. At the heart of our work is the principle that tax crimes have real victims. They have real life consequences that impact is profound on everyone. These cases represent the diverse range of tax-related crimes that we investigate. Tax crimes not only harm the government, but also impact individuals, businesses, and vulnerable members of our society. As we embark on this tax season, let us remember that tax crimes are indeed serious federal offenses. We encourage every citizen to take action to protect themselves, report suspicious activity, and fulfill their tax obligations timely. Our message to criminals is clear. Tax fraud is a serious federal offense with significant consequences and restitution. Thank you for your attention today. Thank you to the U.S. Attorney's Office and the Department of Justice. Thank you to our law enforcement partners. And thank you to the American public. Together, we can ensure a tax system that is equitable and fair for all. Thank you.
Around the time of the birth of our nation, Benjamin Franklin explained, "In this world, nothing is certain except death and taxes." Taxes have always been a primary and a priority in American lives. My name is Alamdar Hamdani, and I am the United States Attorney for the Southern District of Texas. The Southern District of Texas, just to give people a primer, is based in Houston. It has 43 counties, 44,000 square miles. We have offices in Laredo, in Brownsville, in Galveston, in Corpus Christi, and in McAllen. We have 400 miles of border with Mexico, and we are charged with the protection of 9 million souls. Taxes provide revenues for federal, local, and state governments to fund essential things such as defense, highway, and police. And that's why my office works closely with the special agents with IRS criminal investigations every day to ensure that we are holding criminals accountable for anything related to tax fraud or tax evasion. Now, who are some of these criminals? Well, it's anything from corporations to cartels. You know, back in the old days, they took down Al Capone because of taxes. In these days, we look at the Sinaloa cartel, the Jalisco New Generation cartel, the Cartel del Norte, and the Gulf cartel, all those cartels on those 400 miles of border on the other side in Mexico. And we're using the tools by my good friend over here, Ramsey Covington, at his office in Houston and elsewhere to take down the leadership in those cartels and to dismantle, hopefully, those cartels. And what does that mean? When it comes to drug trafficking across that border, when it comes to human trafficking across that border, our goal is to use the tools at IRS criminal investigations to stop and ebb that flow so that things like fentanyl don't come across that border and destroy lives. But beyond just corporations to cartels, we are also going after accountants to track tax preparers. And my good friend Ramsey Covington talked about a case, Cheryl Christian Kessentona, a tax preparer in Houston. Now, what she did is she created fake businesses to claim credits and deductions. And what she did with that money, well, she bought a Bentley, she bought a Maserati, she even got some cosmetic surgery. For that, she endured a 4-day trial and will now spend the next 12 years in prison. Look, with tax season upon us, I want to remind citizens of another certainty besides just death and taxes. If you engage in tax fraud, we will find you. Not only will we find you, we will hold you to account.
My name is Leah Simonton, and I am the U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Texas. I have been proud throughout my time, not only as a U.S. Attorney, but as an Assistant U.S. Attorney for 18 years before that, to work on tax fraud cases that are brought by IRS criminal investigations. And I'm here to remind you that, yes, the federal government does investigate tax fraud. And it is important at this time of year for everyone to be aware that there are people who are actively seeking to use you to gain money, just as my colleague USA Hamdani explained in one of his cases. My office, just to give you an idea of the area that we cover and where we investigate cases and prosecute cases, spans from Dallas and Fort Worth all the way through Lubbock to the New Mexico border and the entire Panhandle, including Amarillo. We have brought so many tax cases in the last several years that I have been in this office, and we have already indicted 2 just in 2024. One of those was an alleged tax preparer who, like our U.S. Attorney Hamdani explained, was like the one in his case where allegedly this person took a lot of people's intentions and turned them to his ill-gotten gains. So this time of year, I want to specifically urge everyone who is watching not to use these types of tax preparation companies that promise higher refunds than other companies or want to receive payment by charging you a percentage of your refund. Just remember, if the refund sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And to any individuals who are contemplating stealing money from the federal government by filing false tax returns, operating a fraudulent tax preparation business, or engaging in similar fraud, as today shows, there is a network of federal law enforcement agents and prosecutors across the entire state of Texas who actively seek out such perpetrators and bring them to justice. No one wants to be caught up in a federal tax investigation, and we actively work them every day. Please do your part to not engage in anything that could be considered tax fraud and to bring the attention of authorities to anything that you suspect is tax fraud. We appreciate your cooperation and hope that we can spare you from ever having to be involved in the cases that we prosecute day to day. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Jaime Esparza. I am the U.S. Attorney for the Western District of Texas, and I'm happy to welcome not only the IRS special agents in charge, but also my good friend Al and Leah and Damian Diggs, who is the Eastern District U.S. Attorney, who is not able to be here. But what I would like you first to note is that this press conference isn't by accident. As you all know, tax season is starting. But the visual of us in partnership with IRS special agents. It is our hope to send a message across this state that tax fraud will not be tolerated, that we are work in partnership with the IRS and the special agents and their criminal investigations in order to enforce the tax laws. It's as simple as that. That's why we are here. It would be 4 U.S. attorneys. Unfortunately, Damian's not here, but all of us are totally committed. All of our resources in order to investigate tax fraud is something that we think is important. And we wanted to send that message to the communities. We wanted people to know that if you file your tax return, be careful. If it looks too good to be true, well, it probably is. If someone seems like they're not doing right, IRS has a phone number. You can call. You can give us a tip. We'd like to look into it. The IRS is fully committed to this as we are. And so I'm happy to stand here with my colleagues. I would tell you the Western District only because Al and Leah have spoke of their districts. I do the Western District, so I have Waco, Austin, San Antonio, Del Rio, Alpine, and El Paso and Midland. It doesn't matter where in the state. What needs to be remembered is this partnership is real. We have the backs of the IRS. The IRS has the backs of the American people to make sure that our money is used in a smart way, that people pay their taxes, and they do it legally. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You don't want to see people like us. You don't want to mess with us or IRS special agents. So just do what's right, pay your taxes, tax fraud won't be tolerated. More importantly, look out for those red flags that are out there. Like a refund that's just a little more than you should get, and you know it. Or somebody told you, hey, that tax preparer, he's going to get you a good deal. Call us. Maybe it's all on the up and up, but maybe it's not. Again, I would like to thank all of you for attending. We want to spread the message. It's always a pleasure. We don't get together very often, the U.S. attorneys, but we did on this account because this is a special message we want to send our communities. Tax fraud will not be tolerated. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Christopher Altimas Jr., and I'm the Special Agent in charge for IRS Criminal Investigation in Dallas, Texas. As we embark on this tax filing season, taxpayers should be very careful when choosing a return payer. It is important to know that even if you use a return payer, you are ultimately responsible for all the information on your return. If you're utilizing a return payer, make sure you do your due diligence. Some tips include: look for a preparer who is available year-round in case you have questions that come up after filing season. Avoid tax return payers who base their fees on a percentage of your refund. Be wary of return payers who guarantee they can get you a large refund. Never sign a blank or incomplete tax return. And finally, always review your tax return before you sign it. And be sure to ask questions if something is not clear or appears to be inaccurate on that return. Because knowingly filing a false tax return with the IRS is a crime, so remember, it is your responsibility to know what is on your income tax return. To any return payers and businesses out there trying to pull a fast one over on the IRS, though the IRS criminal investigation invests significant time into investigating and prosecuting criminals who exploit our tax system, IRS criminal investigation will continue to ensure that all tax practitioners adhere to professional standards and follow the law. I'd also like to take this opportunity to highlight the misuse of the Employee Retention Credit, or commonly known as ERC. ERC are refundable tax credits that were intended to support eligible businesses and organizations that had employees during the COVID-19 pandemic. Unfortunately, a large number of taxpayers claim the credits of entities that did not exist or did not have employees during the COVID-19 pandemic. We want every American to take advantage of the programs, deductions, and credits to which they are entitled to by law. However, no one is entitled to defraud the government, and protecting the taxpayers' money is a matter IRS criminal investigation takes extremely seriously. As of December 31st, 2023, IRS criminal investigation has initiated 352 investigations involving more than $2.9 billion, that's billion with a B with a B, of potentially fraudulent employee reduction credits in tax years 2020 through 2023. IRS criminal investigation will continue to investigate the criminal misuse of these credits, and we will also be hosting a series of education sessions with tax professionals who claimed ERC on behalf of their clients on previous year's returns. Now, if you accidentally submitted ERC claims on your previous year's tax returns, you may be able to participate in the IRS voluntary disclosure program, which runs through March 22nd, 2024. Press releases and additional details will be forthcoming from the IRS. Please remember that all taxpayers and tax businesses need to choose the path of compliance. The well-being of our nation's fiscal health is our collective responsibility. Thank you. Question?
The floor is open if anyone has any questions.
I'm okay with the 101.
Okay. The rest of you are the same. If you could, we can have them stand up there for just a little bit so you can get a shot.
You can stay right there.
Will Dupree back in the KXAN live studio. As we see there are the three of the U.S. attorneys for different districts of Texas, along with members of the IRS criminal investigations units throughout the state as well, all talking about, as the tax season officially kicks off on Monday, this past Monday, I should say, they are now looking and warning people about tax fraud. They're suggesting people to be careful when they choose someone to prepare their tax return. Notice if there's someone who files a return fraudulently on someone's behalf, to be able to report that. And also, if anyone should cheat on their taxes, these are the people that will be investigating that. We do have information about that you might find helpful as you work on filing your taxes, as I will be doing here relatively soon. You can find it on our website, kxan.com, and the KXAN News mobile app. Always available to you there for free and accessible with lots of helpful information. So please check that out whenever you get a chance. Once again, I'm Will Dupree in the KXAN live studio. Thank you so much again for watching. We will see you back here at another time. Hope you all stay safe and healthy. Take care.